Tom, I guess we can almost assume that any customer walking into a store has spent some time on the internet doing research, getting educated. It's really changed the whole ballgame for a salesperson.
It certainly has. I mean, you know, you see statistics that say 80-some%, believe the number you want, but we have to presume the vast majority of people have spent at least a little time online. But broaden it beyond that even, they've spent a little time researching. It may have been talking to friends and neighbors. It may have been talking to others in the construction field. If they know somebody that's a cabinet maker, for example, who do you see doing good work in kitchen floors? They're doing a little research. Very few people are just wake up one morning and decide to go buy a floor and do it blindly. That just doesn't happen. But I think, one thing we need to be reminded of and remind ourselves of, we need to be able to be adaptable to this increased knowledge, when we first start our presentation.
Knowing where they are in their fact-gathering process would seem to be really important. Are there questions you can ask to assess that quickly?
It is important, and I think there's questions that maybe we might ask that would be not too blunt. I mean, I hate to say, just where you've been shopping, because, that's a little in your face. But if it would say, tell me, have you seen anything you liked? Have you seen a particular look that maybe you've got in mind? Have you, in your observations, in your just daily travel, so forth, what do you see you find attractive to you? Many times, if you're open-minded in the question, you make them talk. If you just say, you see anything you like, they say no. It's a closed-ended question. You're right back where you were. But tell me about what you've seen. Share with me. Things of that nature so that you start to get a feel. And they'll tell you many times, well, when I was on this website or on Pinterest, or I went to the Parade of Homes last weekend, or my neighbor just got a new floor and it's called cork, and it looks kind of cool. Kind of been looking into that. Research I've seen said that people are anywhere from 50 to 75% many times into their buying process before they ever go into a store, or before they ever engage a salesperson. So we need to find out where they're at that level, and if this were rungs on a ladder, be able to jump onto that rung with them and take them the rest of the way. Too often, we still approach this, some of us that have been in our careers for a while. Younger generations don't have this problem. They assume everybody's been online. They assume everybody's been searching because that's the way they brought up, that's the way they live. But I'll talk to those of us who've been doing this a while now. This is going to be a newly learned skill, because we always want to presume everybody walks the door and knows very little, and it's our job to educate them. And the reality is, most of them don't want to come in and to be educated. They feel like they've gotten at least, a working knowledge of what they want to do before they ever set foot in our door.
I get the impression that many customers who come in after researching on the internet have an idea about some of the facts about floor covering, but a lot of those are not correct.
That's true. And everything online's not correct any more than everything a salesperson would say is correct. The research indicates that people shop roughly half the stores they did maybe 20 years ago. But they used to, they shop 2 to 3 stores now, typically. They used to shop 4 or 5. Well, I thought they had to go to 4 or 5 to gather enough information. Usually all they got was confused, because, if you talk 5 people, you'll get contradictory information and some that's just plain distruths. Then you've got to sort through it all. Well, online's kind of the same way. You got to sort through it. I'd be a little suspect of reviews, quite frankly. That's just me, but you have no idea what somebody's credentials were. You have no idea what bone they had to pick. I kind of marvel that, some people put more emphasis on an anonymous review online than they do a personal testimonial of some sort. So, kind of sort through it, but just see what they believe, see what they're interested in. But we absolutely go online yourself. It's annoying to me when somebody says, ladies come in, they know more than I do, ha, ha, ha. And I'm going to say, well, you have the same library they've got. They don't have a certain website that they can go to you don't have access to. Turn the TV off for an hour some night and go to the various, we know who they are, but go to the top 3 or 4 websites and see what they have to say, see what they have to offer. And then you'll be in a much better place, to take that and not necessarily contradict it, but take that and build upon it.
That would almost seem like something a salesperson could do in between customers walking in the front door.
Sure. I mean, you got so many minutes a day. What's the old saying? 86,400 seconds every day, you know, make them all productive. It's, and then I don't know that there's a manager in the world that's going to think that is sloughing off. I mean, that's not scanning the web. You know, I mean, just go on there and see, but be specific. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to mention the supplier, but we know who they are, but go on that website and see what they've got to say. See where our customers are getting their information.
Yeah. What do you think about the idea a customer comes in and says, yeah, I was on XYZ website and I learned this. Sit down with them and check that out right there in the store on a computer in the store. Is that a good idea?
Occasionally. You know, if it's really a fact, I don't think it's a good idea if you're just trying to learn something that they already know. But if they maybe have something that's a little confusing,
yeah,
or they think that's a good solution and you know it's not, it might be okay to pull that up and go and get clarification so we really both understand, we're on the same page. But I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on others' websites. I want to work on my own presentation. I got a finite number of minutes with this lady. You know, I probably don't want to be turning my back on her, spend any more time than is necessary, unless she suggests it. You know, if she says, you got a tablet here, can we pull that up? I'd like to have a look at it, or let me show you what I saw.
Yeah.
Because if you say, have you seen anything, you know, I think a good question is, have you seen anything that, you know, you would find interesting? Because maybe they saw it online, maybe they saw it at the store up the street. Also remember too, customers will play dumb on you. We've all done it. We will ask questions we know the answer to. We're just seeing what you know. You know, so they're testing you. So, you know, if you think a customer's not that far into their process, they may be a little farther along than what they want to let on.
But I guess the real bottom line is a salesperson really has to brush up on their product knowledge and their basic information just to stay abreast.
You just need to know what's out there. You know, I don't know that you have to take all the tests, but just be aware of what they are seeing, so that, you know, when you can either be supportive of that in your presentation, or if you have to diffuse some of that information, so that you can do so in a positive fashion. Say, you know, I understand, you know, how you'd feel that way, or I understand what, you know, they're trying to accomplish, but, you know, here in the real world, that's my frustration with a lot of these shows and so forth. You see, you know, they act like you can do it in a weekend by yourself for not very much money or not very much mess. Editing's wonderful. You know, the reality is that's probably not the real world, and now we have to kind of break the news to them that, you know, this is how it really has to happen. But if you don't know what they're showing, how in the world are you going to know how to properly, you know, sell not only with it, but sell against it as well?